Welcome back. Alright, so here's what has happened since the last clip. As I was dumping my video card and scrubbing through the videos just to make sure it looked good, I had noticed that I had totally forgot that I did show the underneath of that board where the capacitor went bad. And luckily, because of that, I was able to identify where the white wire anchored back down to, and by doing so, put it back and reassemble the radio, or at least that module, back in place, and it's working out great. So an error on my behalf, and I just need to pay better attention to my reference photos as I go. I generally take a lot in different angles, but I don't know why I didn't in that scenario. The radio I ran for about an hour after I reassembled it last night and had no issue of it overheating. I've been running it now today for at least 5 hours, if not slightly longer. And it has been playing and performing just fine, with an exception. The heat, not hot at all. And I'm still running, I should still be running at the 11.6 volts at 0.36 milliamps. So we're doing really good. I should say 0.36 amps or 360 milliamps, however you want to phrase it. So I have not brought this up to the 13.8 volts to see what would happen, but feeling pretty good at this. I mean, it is not hot at all, so really good. Now, a moment ago I said slight exclusion or something like that. And right on cue it happened. As you could hear, we still have that noise up underneath the carrier. If it cleaned up, if it softened up, it was just marginal, and still not good enough to sit and listen to and enjoy. So what we're going to do next is we're going to flip this board over. Let me go ahead and kill this. And we're going to go ahead and tear this apart and flip it over, because today we're going to do the last board in here, and hopefully two things. One, it's not as bad as the other two, and hopefully we'll get rid of the noise. Now, I'm not sure if you could see in the video here, you can see these two caps are slightly domed. So hopefully this is our issue. So we just got these four capacitors that needs to be yanked. I'm hoping that this is going to be easier to take out and flip over. I have no wires coming up over here. Here's the white wire. That's from the other side. At least I believe it's the white wire. Yeah, I believe that's the white wire coming from the other side. I don't see any other whites coming up. Now I left the head on this loose because, see these cables right here? I need to break these free. And I really hate to break these free because they are a challenge to put back. As you can see, they're just wires into a header, and on the other side of this header, they're just straight wires. There's no support, and there's really not a comfortable amount of wire to pull to get it in there. It's takes about 10 minutes to stab it into place. You can see this chip right here has been scrubbed from its original, and it's marked Regency. And here you see a tighter shot of the chip. And while we're in tight, let me move this over and get my angle just right. And there you should be able to see that they are bulbous. Now, since I don't have the service manual, I really can't go through and, realign this or anything. What I can do is make sure that at least this crystal is set to 11.2. And we could do that a couple of ways. We could put that on a frequency counter, or we could sniff it out with the spectrum analyzer, or even on the O-scope. So let me get started on that, and I will come back when I'm done, and we will try it out to see what happens. Okay, got it all completed. We did have a little contamination, and cleaned it all up, and replaced all the capacitors. You can see that bad boy is icky. But wait, got a matching pair. This one here was actually where the board was bad. That's that one. The roundies, as you can see there. Well, let's just say all of them that I measured out of those two boards, all were in the picofarad range. So I'm hoping that sensitivity is going to improve somewhat, the buzzing will go away, and all that good stuff. The CPU chip, I went ahead and pulled that out a little bit, not all the way, but maybe halfway. Shot a little isopropyl aerosol cleaner in there. That's all it is, just the alcohol, no oils or anything. And then I reset it. It was very, very tight. So hopefully there were no issues with chip creep or anything like that. I got the antenna plugged in. I got the external speaker plugged in. One of the things that we will try also is to see if that speaker cleared up. Now that all the caps have been replaced. The original caps that I pulled out of this power supply section I have not tested yet, but with the Syncor capacitor checker I did with that little cheap Chinese one. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug it in to power, and let's see what happens. So I got negative, and I did clean all the ground contact points, so hopefully we've got good connection there as well. Got the positive plugged in. I'm going to go up here to the power supply. That's turned off. We're going to plug it into the power supply, and we are still at 11.6 volts. There we go. And it did not keep any of my programs. So let's go ahead and program one in. This one seems to be active. And then I think 125.25 was active. Well, had a little something there. If we don't hear anything, we'll put it on the generator. And then I think 120.400 was it? Maybe. I don't remember if that one's it. So while that's scanning, let me go ahead and put the signal generator on frequency. No, we still have noise. But it's not as bad. But there's still noise in the background. So, let's go ahead and kill that, and let's see if we could actually hear somebody squawking. While that's doing its thing, let me look up some more frequencies to put in here. The neat thing is, it's working. I didn't blow it up this time. Well, that sounded good. I was able to understand them. Something southwest.
Clear to visual, 35 left, red, 2120.
So, maybe the noise won't be too bad after all. We'll have to see.
Project out of latitude 83 Alpha Alpha 11 to the southeast.
That sounds good. That sounds a lot better.
0 to land 3 Alpha Alpha.
Yeah, a lot better. Let's go ahead and put a couple more frequencies in here. And you get to see how to program this if you ever get one. That digit felt a little funky. I don't remember what I just programmed in. 5.4. Now the frequencies, I just went to Google and punched in your hometown what I put, airport frequencies, scanner frequencies, and that's what I got. So if you're looking for frequencies for your hometown, that's exactly how you'll do it. Okay, I do believe that's it. So let's scan the wagons. I'm going to go ahead and increase the voltage up to 13.8. So this will be the first time that I've done that for this whole project. Well, once I straightened up my wire mess, that is. Okay, so we are now at 13.8 volts, and it's still only drawing 0.36 amps, so still good. Now, one thing I'm going to do is let's disconnect the external speaker and let's see how the internal speaker now works. Maybe the issue was bad caps and not a bad speaker. I'm going to adjust the signal generator up so I'm not burning up film. Maybe. So here we have a carrier with no audio. And we're only air coupled antenna to antenna. No. That still don't sound good. Okay, I'm not going to trip and drip on the internal speaker. It's a 3-inch square jobby. I don't have any in my stash, and it's very easy to plug in a external. Even our squelch is down a lot more than what it was. Because I don't have a spot to put this to be in service 24/7, unfortunately. This will, unfortunately, after the video, will get cleaned up and then put up. That's why I don't have the other one handy, is because it's put up. I have a lot of scanners. I unfortunately don't get a chance to play with them because no room. I do have another scanner. We were talking about programming this earlier in the video. I made comment that this one, the manual was rather challenging, and no could find or figure it out. Took a little bit. I do have another scanner that I need to work on here in my arsenal. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'll make a video on it all by itself. But that one, even with the owner's manual on that one, I cannot figure it out. It is challenging. You pretty much need a doctorate in, I don't know, electronics, or I don't know. It is very challenging to figure out how to program because it is not digits. Just leave it at that. And it's not a punch card. What I'm going to try to do is try to sniff out these 3 crystals and the 455 IF and hopefully maybe the 10.7 and see if we could read it. I'm going to see if I could sense it on the O-scope, and then if we can get a rough idea of frequency, then we'll go over here on the spectrum analyzer and try it. And so all I'm doing is I have a 10-to-1, I'm sorry, a 10 slash, I'm sorry, let me try it again, a 1X, 100X O-scope probe. This is nothing fancy. It's a cheap Chinese. You get them 2 for, $10 or whatever. And honestly, I really like this probe. It does really good. I do have better probes. I have HP and Agilent, very expensive probes, but this cheap thing I actually do like. It seems to do a good job. I have a coil here with about 3 turns. This is it's 2 wires formed together in one. It's low voltage outside wire, I think is what it is. It's solid, and just in that little coil, no ground. On the other end I do have a DC block, although I don't really need it because I'm not going to be touching anything, but just in case, because I do have bare wire right there that you can't see. And we'll put it in the scope. And so we have our trace, and then we have our power, and then we have a spectrum analyzer down there. So hopefully you could see something move up. And just to put it to the scope, and let me redo. Okay, so you see we've got something there. That's probably 60 hertz now that I'm looking at it, but it's sensitive enough. Okay, so we got that turned down. Let's see if we get any changes on these crystals. Nothing. Now you see that it's spiking, and what's happening is I'm getting harmonics off of the 60 hertz. So I might be too sensitive. Excuse my arm. So we've got 2 peaks. Those are going to be more likely the 60 hertz. So let's go ahead and put our marker over there to confirm. And yes, I could tell you right now it's going to be our 60 hertz. Yes, 60 hertz. And unfortunately, I'm not able to sniff anything out. Let's come up to this top board. That's still 60 hertz. Okay, stand by. Okay, I was just able to identify one of the crystals in here, 10.245 megahertz. So let's go ahead and go to the spectrum analyzer, and then we're going to punch in center frequency of 10.245, and hit our marker. And we're going to make that 10.245 as well, so we know where our center's at. Alrighty. Hope you could see that. Going to adjust my, well, We'll leave the span at 200 kilohertz. And let's see if we can get something. Ah, look at that. You see that on your screen there. We are getting a signal. Let me adjust the span so we can get it a little stronger. Okay, so that is the crystal. We're reading that at a negative 53 dB or about. So let me take a reading on that. Yep, 10.245. So we're right on the money with that one. And unfortunately, I don't know what the other ones are. And I get close to the last one we just read, and it's coming up. So let me see if I got to adjust the span, and maybe, okay, at this frequency I can only go 2 megs. And let me increase the RF, or reference level. We'll go down to negative 30. That's as sensitive I can go. No. We're just getting, whoops. We are just getting that one signal. So you can see that signal now, 10.245. Let's go to 4.55, and then we'll conclude the video.
North ramp phone rate for 570.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Okay, I see nothing with the 455. Let's try 10.7 maybe. And nothing. Okay, well, I think that pretty much concludes this video. We were able to get that up and going, fix the traces, and then fix my problem. We still have an issue with the speaker. I'll investigate that later when it becomes a real issue. I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, once I'm done with this video, I'm going to clean this up, put it back together, clean it up, box it up, put it up with the other one. So I appreciate you sticking along and enjoying this ride with me. Thanks for watching. We will catch you in the next video. Take care now.